Hi, welcome to 40 Top Virtual Series. I'm your host today, Sarah Payne Scarborough, Associate VP for External Engagement here at the Marsh University Research Corporation, and I'm also the chair of the Operations Council for the Alliance for the Economic Development of Southern West Virginia. So we have a wonderful program for you this morning. We are interviewing and chatting it up with President Jim Nemitz, Osteopathic School of Medicine's seventh president. And we're very excited to host him and learn about the Osteopathic School of Medicine in West Virginia and their projects and all the wonderful things happening in Greenbrier County. But first, let's talk about the official host, the organization that makes these possible, and that's the Alliance. So the Alliance for the Economic Development of Southern West Virginia is a higher education collaborative, which WVSOM is a part of. And if you look at a map, we have 10 institutions, 2 and 4 year colleges and universities, and they include Bluefield State University, Bridge Valley Community and Technical College, Concord University, Marshall University, Mountain West Community and Technical College, New River Community and Technical College, Southern West Virginia Community and Technical College, the West Virginia School of Osteopathic Medicine, West Virginia State University, and West Virginia University Institute of Technology. So the map really goes, our footprint goes from Mason, Clay, Webster County down. We have about 21 counties, and collectively we represent about 30,000 students. We include 2 medical centers in our footprint, and we're really trying to strengthen communities and help create jobs, and so assist our business sector and assist our communities. We created the 40 Top Virtual Roundtable series this time last year, so around April of 2020, in response to the pandemic. We wanted to link West Virginians directly with state leaders to provide them with important information. And since then, we have hosted an array of sessions, both on Facebook Live and also as a virtual town hall kind of setting, roundtable setting. And more than 2,500 people have participated in just the last 12 months. So the 40 Top series, it's one of our pride traditions now, and we will continue that. And it's professional development, a little bit of networking, and it's very educational. So it's a win-win-win. Other projects of the Alliance include our Small Communities Big Solutions Conference. It happens every November. Save the date. It's going to be virtual one more year, and it's going to be in the week of November 15th. We hope you save the date and join us. We also host our West Virginia Solution Seekers Student Leadership Conference. This is a statewide virtual conference. It's going to be in April 2022. So it's for all juniors and seniors in high school, as well as college and career training courses. So please save the date. April of 2022. Our Power of Performance Awards. Do you know someone who's making a difference, having a great impact in West Virginia? Well, you should nominate them for our Power of Performance Awards. You can do so now at wvsolutions.net. They will be honored in November at our conference. We also have different conversations and different working groups, from entrepreneurship to tourism to workforce development to prevention, addiction, recovery, and reentry. We host an annual Small Business Leaders Survey so that we can monitor state business trends. And we have conversations between our presidents and our Operation Council members. And we are proud to host the West Virginia Collegiate Recovery, which is a peer support outreach program to support students who are in recovery or have a significant other in active addiction. We want to provide these students with a path for higher education attainment. And the Osteopathic School of Medicine is a great partner in this network. So without further ado, let's turn to our special guest today, Dr. Jim Nemitz, the president of West Virginia School of Osteopathic Medicine. We are just so thrilled to have you. Well, President Nemitz, thank you so much for joining the Alliance's 40 Top today as we look into colleges and universities and see what they're doing to help the Mountain State. And you're kicking off the president's speaking portion, and so you're our first president to interview. We're very excited about that. And I think the question is, can you tell us a little bit about your institution and what makes it so special?
Sure. Sarah, thank you so much. I really appreciate the opportunity to promote the Alliance, but also to promote the institutions that form the Alliance. So I represent the West Virginia School of Osteopathic Medicine. I'm the president of the school, and I love this place. I've been associated with the school for over 30 years, so I'm a little biased. I tell people all the time I work at the best place I've ever worked in my career and living in the best place I've ever lived in my life. And for me, what is so special about WVSOM is our mission and the fact that we are living our mission. And what I mean, the story that I love to tell people, and I knew several of the founders, is the school was founded almost 50 years ago. We're going to be celebrating our 50th anniversary in 2022. For the purpose, I mean, there was a real need 50 years ago in terms of physicians in rural areas of West Virginia. And the four founders of the school basically said, we want to do something about that. And they created this institution. And against a lot of odds, a lot of challenges, we have succeeded. And that's what is so special about the school to West Virginia, is that we have populated the rural areas of West Virginia with WVSOM grads, with DOs, who are serving in primary care areas. Though, DOs can go into all specialty areas, and we serve, our alums serve in that capacity as well. But our niche has been, really the mission of the school to provide rural primary care to West Virginia and to America. And so, 50 years later, we're the leading producer of rural primary care physicians for West Virginia, for the Appalachian region, and for the country. And those have been all documented by third-party sources. But when you look at that, I mean, that's what I'm most proud of, and I think that's what's special. But ultimately, it always comes down to people. It's always, it's the people here that make up a WVSOM. And I'm talking about the whole continuum, from starting with our founders and our first president, Dr. Sharp, and all the presidents that came after Dr. Sharp, and then the faculty and the staff, and then, of course, the students and our alums. So ultimately, we have this beautiful campus in Lewisburg, and we have statewide presence in terms of our statewide campus for our third and fourth year. But ultimately, it's all about your people, and we have great people. We're a great institution to work for. We participate in that Higher Education Chronicles survey, and it's all about, I think the thing that's unique about the school is we're all moving in the same direction. We all live our mission. We all understand our mission, and our mission is to serve West Virginia and to provide good quality, competent, compassionate physicians for West Virginia. But we do more than that in terms of community outreach, community engagement, and research, and I can speak to those as well. But it's about living our mission, and it's about the people who live that mission each and every day.
Well, and You're right. When I think of your institution, I think about the people, and I think about service. Like that service is ingrained in your staff and faculty, and you can see that. You can see that through community development projects, as you mentioned, and we'll drill down on those here in just a second. But you can also see, like your staff participating in this education collaborative, the Alliance,
Sure.
and just really wanting to serve West Virginia and her people. And it's very impressive. And as a lifelong West Virginian myself, and who's very passionate about West Virginia, um, it speaks volume for because you are sharing that knowledge and that love and compassion through your faculty to your students, and really, like you said, I mean, you're getting your students out there serving a statewide mission, and it's wonderful. So when we're talking about community projects, are there a couple that you can talk us through that you're maybe most proud of, or that's like coming on deck? How do you serve the community?
Well, we serve in a variety of different ways. I mean, one, I'm really proud of our students. Our students are very engaged in community service, and they typically put in, and these are documented community service hours where they typically put in over 10,000 hours a year, and these are documented hours. And you can imagine the life of a medical student, which is they spend a lot of time working on their academics. They don't have a whole lot of free time, and yet they take a certain amount of their free time and they pay it forward, and they do incredible work within the communities. They do fundraisers for different organizations, as well as educational activities. I mean, the list goes on and on and on in terms of the number of hours and the number of dollars that they raise for others. Um, but in addition to that, we have faculty programs that have been long-standing in terms of educating the community about health matters. You know, we've had a mini med school, which is again, run by students, but also overseen by the faculty. That's been a great program. We've been doing pipeline programs in the grade schools through high school and colleges, where we invite people to come and who are studying anatomy, for example, at the high school or college level, and get an experience where they can see human anatomy. So there's all kinds of programs like that. You know, the Just Say No summer program, where we enable high school kids to participate in better understanding various aspects of medical sciences, and what medical school is all about. But then the other thing we've done is we want to continue to do even more. And, I firmly believe that a medical school should not only produce quality graduates that serve the communities, that we have a responsibility as a medical school to help our communities become healthier. And certainly there's huge need in West Virginia. And so we created the Center for Rural and Community Health, and the CRCH is really one of our, it's a shining example of piloting programs that will then become best standards, and then be piloted here, maybe locally, but then spread across the state, across the country, and maybe even across the globe, because there really is a need for community engagement and to figure out ways to help communities improve their health. And through our Center for Rural and Community Health, we feel like we're doing that. If you come to Lewisburg, and I hope you do, in the center of downtown is the Klingman Center. And that's WVSOM's facility for community engagement and outreach in the center of our community, where, we're doing things like teaching people how to grow food, how to cook food, how to manage their chronic diseases with lifestyle changes. And then certainly we've been at the forefront of COVID response in our local area, but also the opioid response, the opioid epidemic that is statewide, and it still has gotten so much worse during the pandemic, and working on those types of projects. So there are numerous projects that are coming out of the center that continue to grow and will become models around the state. I'll give you an example of one that we did where we did an educational program for our students. We did it 2 years in a row, and they've started collecting data from these from the session. And so this is this is a co-curricular activity. They do it after their they've been to school all day, and they learn about the opioid epidemic. And I will tell you, the data is preliminary, but it changed through surveying students. It changed their perception of what a person who has substance use disorder, who they are, and we saw an impact to help lessen some of the stigma, which is huge in terms of getting treatment for people who really need treatment, and getting that message out there. And so influencing future physicians to say, these people need help just like anybody else, just like the person who has COVID, the person who has substance use disorder needs help as well. And it's our job to help them. And so doing programs like that, I think, is so impactful. And so it runs the gamut of impacting our medical students, in fact, impacting our faculty and staff, and then impacting the community at large, and ultimately, hopefully, impacting the state and the region and the country.
We are growing our impact, and your institution is a great example of that. And I just want to say thank you so much, because your leadership team helped us draft that West Virginia Collegiate Recovery grant that was funded through SOAR dollars. And we are really making an impact. I mean, we have served 3,500 plus individuals through programming, group, or individual services. And these are students, faculty, and staff from across the region, and community leaders and individuals in our communities. Whether you are in recovery yourself, or you have a significant other who is in active addiction, we are kind of wrapping around services and supporting you and supporting students to their higher education attainment goals. And your institution played a great role in that, and making that a very successful program. So just a quick shout out to the Collegiate Recovery Network for all their good deeds. So when we talk about growing our impact and helping our communities, where do you see your institution in about 5 years?
Sure. Well, again, thank you about the collegiate recovery. It's so important, and it just goes to show you there's real need out there. And so we're proud to be a part of that program, and what great work the Alliance has done to make that happen. And that's exactly, that's part of the message here. We are so much better when we work together. And that's the other message I want to send is, let's continue to work together, our institutions to work together, because we're so much better. We serve West Virginia when we work together, and that's an example of a great project. In terms of WVSOM in 5 years, I see us certainly continuing to produce quality, competent, caring physicians to serve West Virginia. Is our number one priority, but also, producing sustainable programs that impact the health of West Virginians. In our mission, we say we serve West Virginia first and foremost, and address the healthcare needs of its citizens. And so it's not only teaching our students how to help their patients, it's also actually helping West Virginians to better understand what good nutrition is, the need for exercise, programs to manage chronic pain, to manage chronic diseases like diabetes and high blood pressure. So I see us continuing to grow those programs and promoting them throughout the state. And then the other area that we're exploring is what else can WVSOM do? What other programs can we offer? And we're actively exploring that as an institution, and that could take a variety of forms. I mean, it could take a form of where WVSOM creates a program de novo, where we create it in-house and offer it, and it would be complementary to our mission. But we're also exploring the possibility of what other types of collaborations could we do with other schools, whether they're, and we're certainly focusing a lot of attention on working with schools within Southern West Virginia, whether it's Marshall or Bluefield State or Concord, or even schools like University of Charleston. Again, I'm a firm believer in collaborations, and again, we help the state more, I think, when we collaborate and work together. So, uh, like I said, I would expect that WVSOM will continue to grow and contribute to West Virginia.
I have no doubt.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's exciting. And it's exciting for West Virginia, too. Well, as we're finishing up the interview, Mr. President, is there anything else that you would like viewers to know about your institution?
Yeah, two things. One, it also is part of our mission to contribute to the scientific literature, and research is certainly valued by our institution. While where we put a lot of emphasis on education as being the number one priority, certainly research and community engagement and community service are extremely important to the school. And it's another area of development and growth for the institution. Final thing I would say is economic impact. We've learned more than ever this past year how important our economy is, and the reality is that each of the institutions in Southern West Virginia, higher education institutions, are economic engines for their local economies as well as for the state at large. And so we recently did an update on our economic impact in WVSOM. I mean, think about it. We got a little bit under 9 million in our state appropriation. We're returning 133.6 million to the state of West Virginia. And that isn't just to Greenbrier County. Because of our statewide campus, that impact is actually spread across the state. The other thing we asked our economists to do is to give us some kind of idea of what the impact our graduates have made. And so based on current graduates practicing in the state, we're returning 1.5 billion in healthcare, healthcare delivery by our graduates. So that's part of what why we're important to the state, and why I'm so proud of this school is we're making a difference in West Virginia's economy, both here in Lewisburg and Greenbrier County, but actually throughout the state, because of our statewide campus and our alums. So again, it all comes down to people. It's our students and our alums are the lifeblood of this school. They're the reason why we live our mission. And then, of course, the faculty and staff who come to work every day enthusiastic and serving West Virginia to produce those physicians and to train those students to serve. So
Well, you do have a beautiful mission, a beautiful campus, And I encourage anyone, if they are in Greenbrier County, to swing by and look at the campus, because it is just truly something special. And so we thank you, Mr. President. We are so excited to see what you and your team um, continue to do for West Virginia. And we just appreciate your time very much. And just stay safe.
Well, thank you, Sarah. I really appreciate this opportunity. And yes, take care and be well and stay safe. Take care. Bye now.
Bye.